Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Only Football. It's been since
2022.
well, yeah, but like, did we do one episode of the World Cup?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was like this third day, like leading into Canada Belgium.
No, I think we did two. Did we do? Oh, maybe we only did one.
We did a preview. We did a couple previews. It's been a while.
Been a while. About World Cup.
Messi's the GOAT, Mike.
He is. I can't say anything anymore. I still love Ronaldo more.
Some pretty diabolical calls in favor of Argentina for the whole tournament.
Yep, but fairy tale ending. You couldn't write for an ending.
Yes, you could.
Better than that.
It was written.
I'm saying you couldn't write a better ending.
Yeah, well,
for Messi,
just don't write an ending.
Well,
that's my take.
Congratulations, entertaining World Cup. Some dramatic games, but back to the PL we are.
Yeah, everything else is off. Is Serie A back this weekend or next?
It's this weekend.
Is it?
It's this weekend, yeah.
Oh, do we have any spicy
Serie
Serie A?
Udinese, I believe.
Yeah, I think you do. I think I've never seen that. Oh, no, you don't. Wait, what? Oh, shit, you guys play tomorrow. There's Serie A tomorrow.
Who do we play?
Criminal.
Oh, right.
Criminal.
The new promoted.
Cremonese. There is Serie A tomorrow. Well. That changes everything.
No, there's no juicy matchups.
You do play Udinese on the weekend, though.
Okay, that's what it is.
Ooh, Milan Rome on the weekend. Anyway, we'll get back to Serie A next week. Today we are going to be focusing on the Big Seven now because we're throwing Newcastle in there because I mean they effectively were as of October 2021. So
yeah,
we're going to go top down, starting at Arsenal. We're going to open up with like a little review of the Arsenal-Newcastle match, and then just go from standing all the way down to Chelsea. All the way down to Chelsea. We're going to skip a few teams.
In between Liverpool and Chelsea, but
yeah.
They are...
No disrespect to Brighton, Fulham, and Brentford. You guys said that they've been doing great. And all of them play like pretty exciting ball, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry to them.
This is how it was going to be when the season started. You know, Newcastle, would they be? Did we expect them to be here now?
No, I didn't.
Great game today.
I thought it was a good game too. I missed a good chunk of the first half. We had a gas leak at work last night, all the way down. Like it's been closed last Dollins to Jones since like the middle of the night.
It wasn't open today?
No, so like I showed up and the cafe was open and then they closed it and they sent the baristas home at like noon and everything was closed. The whole place was closed, which never happens. It's like the only one's open on Christmas from like 12 to 3:45. Second half. Once the second half started, Stefan showed up at 2:45. I was like, sorry, man, you're not allowed to come inside. So like I had a couple cigarettes with him, and then like he went out and sat in his truck for the first half, and then we opened up and came in. But I was downstairs like moving a bunch of shit around. I was asked to move a bunch of stuff around.
That's when the game started to get exciting first half. Referee was a tad bit card happy.
It seemed that way.
I think the first foul didn't warrant a yellow, but because he gave a yellow, there was just quick challenge after challenge that were very similar. And so he had to. You couldn't just give it once. He did do it to himself. But, there were, just because there wasn't as many ebbs and flows in a typical EPL match, doesn't mean that it was not entertaining. I found it very entertaining.
TJ came in. Like, I thought the second half was decent, too. And, I saw some, like, missed chances in the first half. Like, even, like the first few minutes when Stefan was smoking, like, Arsenal was all over them. Like, they had 5 shots in the first, like, 10 minutes. None of them on goal, but, like, Odegaard probably should have bagged one. They were up for it. They played well enough from what I saw. Great save from Pope near the end. Sustained pressure from Arsenal.
In the first half, not so much to say. Well, I guess possession-wise, would say that. But Newcastle were set up well. Nice that they didn't leave any gaps. They knew the areas of which Arsenal would want to attack them. Mm-hmm. Didn't give Odegaard any space. Didn't even allow the pass to Odegaard. Right, cut off that option and make them have someone else be a playmaker and break them down. And Arsenal couldn't find it. Right, and Arteta, Didn't really make any subs until he was really like, I thought maybe too late. If he wanted certain players to influence the game, or even shift. I think he tried to shift Zinchenko into the midfield when Tomiyasu came on.
That's the only sub he made.
It is, right?
Yeah.
But that was like 75th. Yeah.
And that's the thing for me with Arsenal is like, we're going to get into them, but it's like that's why I'm not panicked about Arsenal winning the league right now. They don't have the depth yet.
Yeah.
They don't. And I think this is a prime example of just that.
And now they're getting into the meat of the season.
Yeah, big time.
Was it 3 in a row they faced, or that was 3 and 4, right? Newcastle. Then they have is it Tottenham next?
They have a FA Cup match first, but yes, it is Spurs next on the road. It's heavy, and then City, I think, right after. No, Everton.
Everton and then Man U.
Yeah, so it's Spurs, United, Everton, Brentford, then City, then Villa.
These are tough to get.
City have a tough run too right now.
Which helps Arsenal.
Yeah,
because as City drop points, we'll get to them soon. But so far, 17 games in, only 3 games where they drop points.
Amazing.
I think they obviously are. It's hard to say. I don't want to sound disrespectful.
That they're punching above their weight.
They're overachieving at the moment.
Absolutely. I think you can pretty much say that about anyone except for City.
Yeah. Or if Liverpool were in this position, I don't think we'd be saying. I think we wouldn't be as shocked. But
it's hard to.
It's hard to put
myself in my mindset right now.
Yes, but before the season, if you said after 17 games Liverpool would be 14-2-1, I'd be I wouldn't blink an eye.
Yeah. No, Arsenal absolutely is. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful either because they play really exciting football. They dominate. They dominate. They're so good at winning the second ball too.
Their second halves are strong too.
Yeah.
That's what's even more impressive. That today was the first game they got shut out in the Premier League, right? I think they scored in every game before today.
The Southampton and yes.
So they have potent offense. It's not been figured out as well as Newcastle did. Although Arsenal did have some chances, but they were pretty controlled chances, right? I would say.
From what I saw in the second half, yes, there wasn't anything it was a great save on Martinelli by Pope. But he still did do well to get that shot off. It's not like they missed a breakaway or.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of the Nketiah chance.
No, it was a foot. That was Nketiah. That was Nketiah, right? Sorry. That was Nketiah. The header from Martinelli that glanced by the post. That was a really really good take. But
other than that,
there's nothing that was clear cut. Yeah, you're right. Newcastle is very sound. Extremely well organized and good for them. Man, those Newcastle fans were losing it in the last few minutes.
Newcastle players were pumping them up.
Yeah, for sure, of course. So they should. I mean, honestly, I really like how Newcastle's done their business since the takeover. There's nothing frivolous or super glamorous in terms.
They're doing it piece by piece, and I think that's how it should be done. If you can't just splash the cash like you are in, FIFA manager mode, when you get the big buyout and you just go for 4 big signings right off the bat. The signings they have, they're trying to get younger players or players even Trippier, their first signing. It's someone who has experience at EPL. He might not be the flashy player, but he's going to get the job done. You know what you're going to get out of him, and he could lead a team of, he's a pretty big, stable person, I think.
I've never seen him play this well.
He plays well, man. He plays
well. This well? Yeah, no.
It's the team that's playing well, though.
Yeah, but he's been sensational, and he's obviously a huge part of that. His leadership, his experience, as you're saying, is crucial. And he was great at Spurs for a couple of years. He was at that time 2018.
Pretty good at Atletico too. He wasn't as good as he thought, but he was still okay.
He fit that system well enough.
He didn't really.
He was doing nothing for me. Where when United were linked to him, I didn't want him. And Newcastle got him. Yeah, okay, all right. He's gonna be even if he drops off a little bit, he's gonna be right back for team of the season.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially if they keep up this defense.
Absolutely, and that's what I mean. I don't think I've actually seen him. And you're right. The team that back line is Sven Botman's never lost a Premier League game.
That he started?
Yeah. I think he's like 9-6 or something, or 9-7. Something silly like that.
That's pretty impressive. What do you think Arsenal, they face City February 15th. Before that game, what do you think they look to get out of these games? These next 4 games, I think it is. 4 or 5.
I mean, honestly, like the way they've been playing, that's the thing. Is like you don't want to. They're having such an amazing season, but you don't want to like. Obviously, you want to win every match, like duh. But and so they should expect, especially going into Spurs, where Spurs are at, like want that 3 points. But if they don't win that match, especially if they lose it, because like a point on the road to Spurs isn't terrible. But if they lose it, like just to maintain their heads and keep the expectations realistic in terms of winning the league, they need to not put too much pressure on them. So what you have Spurs on the road, you've got United at home.
Yep.
Then it's Everton.
Yep.
And then it's Brentford.
Yep.
Both on the road, or is Brentford at home? Everton's on the road. What am I doing? I'm looking. It's right in front of me. They're at home. They're home to Brentford. So. Honestly, if I'm looking at that, they've been so good at home. United's obviously dicey. My bias sucks going to come here. But if I'm looking at that, I'm saying you want 9 points.
Out of 15?
No, before City, out of the 12.
Oh, out of the 12?
Yeah. We're saying before City, right?
Yeah. Before City.
I'm saying 9.
9.
Which means you can even draw
the fourth one, or one of them.
Draw one, you get 10.
Yeah, the way the season's going, that's
but you
the
lose
way
one.
They have to look at it.
You lose one out of those 4. Everton today. Whoa.
That fourth one?
I know.
that was horrible.
Steph and I were like, our jaws were on the floor.
It gave him a breakaway from half.
Yeah, but like, what was he?
Anyway,
whatever. Just look up Arsenal. Sorry, just look up Brighton's 4th goal.
It was probably 30 yards on the pass.
Yeah,
30 yards.
Yeah, but did he think the second Brighton player was an Everton
or
defender?
the goalie was there, but he just didn't look.
Who was it? Who was that?
I don't. He should.
He's
not seeing the field next week.
Yeah. He might. Okay. So yeah, if I'm Arsenal, I'm gunning for 9 points there. I guess. I mean, realistically 10, but I don't think they're going to get that many. Where out of those 4 before City.
If they want to be in a good enough position where that City match, it won't kill them if they lose, but it will really benefit them if they win.
I'm going to say
they need to be 5 points up, right? So even if they tie, they still remain 5 points, and if they win, they go 8.
Right. Honestly, Mike, I am going to go. No.
I think they're going to get 9.
I think 8. I'm going to go 8.
2 wins, 2 ties?
Yeah.
That's still good, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But, I think top 4 is very likely for them at this point.
Well, they're getting top 4.
It's just...
They're not bottled in top 4, Mike.
I don't think they will. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say something.
You're warming my cockles talking like that. No. That would be too
Their defense, but they're scoring and they have great defense.
I agree.
So
there's no way they're bottling top 4. No fucking way. Like, to me, like, they're like...
I think so too.
They're finishing second.
At this point, it should shift just like it did last season when
they're finishing top 2.
They should, yeah.
Despite the fact that I do think they're light, I do think that they're light.
Focused on it, right?
Is Mudryk going to come in now? Chelsea's getting heavily linked to Mudryk. That would be a blow. I mean, honestly, and I agree with Shakhtar holding out like
until summer.
He's extremely highly rated. I've watched him in the Champions League this year, and he's looked very good. And he burst on the scene last season as well. So even going into the season, there was already a lot of talk about him. I think they wanted him before the season started.
Yeah, he was linked to them before.
But I think them holding him for like £85 million is fair. They might not get him in the summer, but I would definitely push for it in January. Like they use Jack Grealish and Antony as examples, and that's more than reasonable.
It is.
Why should you not? How badly does Arsenal want it? Go ahead and get him. What else can they do? I mean, Mudryk's really the only one that's been getting linked to them.
I think Vieira should have came on today.
Well,
is he hurt?
I don't think so.
Because
I don't.
They needed some sort of creativity.
No, for sure. I absolutely agree, and he's performed given chances. You
Yeah.
know, they haven't
Mostly
been long.
Europa
They've been
League.
cameos, but he's been getting it done. He was actually someone, especially when Jesus got injured.
Yeah, picking up.
I was considering it, and I was seeing like what was going on with their preseasons, and he started one or something. Then it was like, okay, he's just gonna put Nketiah up there, so that's it. But yeah, absolutely. Like, yes, Vieira should absolutely, and there's some depth there, but why isn't he? Like, what's going on?
They needed some sort of creativity.
But like, you know, I do rate Arteta. He drives me kind of insane. Like the guy literally complains about everything.
I've always complaining about at the end.
The handball, I'm sure. What do you mean?
Yeah, so why is he yelling at how?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's yelling at the ref.
I don't know.
Not how.
I don't know if there was a. See, I only caught like a glimpse, like when they came together. I don't know if how might have been complaining about him getting outside the technical area.
Oh, and then complaining about the ref and should be booked.
Maybe that's like the only thing I could think of is like why would Arteta be so upset? But he complains all the time.
He just has that look. He's all like I don't know how to.
But they deserve it. Like they deserve everything. And honestly, I'm not being biased. Like I do think I'm relatively objective, but it is kind of frustrating. I get it. Like I'm not saying don't complain, but it's like every fucking thing. This guy.
Hey,
Klopp's pretty bad. I don't know if Klopp's that bad, to be honest. Klopp's worse in press conferences. On the touchline,
he's just great for the cameras on the touchline. He's just always has that smile.
We'll get to him in a bit.
Yeah,
we will get to that guy in a bit.
Should we move on to City?
Yeah. Is there anything else? Like, I mean, in terms of like a midfielder. Well, I mean, Smith Rowe will be a bit of a. Well,
really?
Will he?
Really?
Will he? Exactly.
Because he's not going to see the field.
It's
not
not
going to be on sub appearances, but at this point, I would put on Vieira before him.
Well, right? So would I. But like, you know, just for like a little, because Rowe can play off the wings a little bit too. Sometimes even see him in the pivot if you're really desperate. But
that means you have to take off Martinelli or Saka.
No, I take off Xhaka. Like if I say if you're chasing a win.
Oh, I would take off Partey before Xhaka. I think Xhaka is important for them this year.
So is Partey.
I think Xhaka is more important. That's me personally.
I don't know about that.
I think he's regained.
I think it's great. I think he's been great this year. But I think Partey's been He's been a force this season. And I'm just saying, like, if you are chasing win, like, Partey is still a better defender than
Xhaka to the CDM
to more of the CDM role. But like, if you get hit on the break, like you already
take the foul, right? He won't make the tackle. He'll take the
second.
He'll
yellow.
Make it look like
at that point he'll be taking a second yellow.
No. If he has a yellow, then yes, Partey. But if he doesn't have a yellow, I think Xhaka's the one who stayed. For me, that's what I would like. I think he's the engine of the team this year.
Interesting. I mean, I'm not knocking
him and Odegaard, but I think he's regained the trust of the fans and the team.
Absolutely. And he's like, offensively, he's been pretty good.
Producing.
Yeah. Okay. On the City, and what was that?
Everton.
But not even like rotating the squad. Why didn't you play Foden that match?
I think it's because the people who are playing. I know Grealish was at the World Cup as well. But I think he's trying to give the bench, I had you during like Mars in World Cup. Rico Lewis, he was probably training with it on the first team because all those stars are gone.
Fine, but then he doesn't make subs until like the 75th.
I know. It's Pep, right? He's a fantasy manager nightmare, right?
Oh yeah,
and he's doing it, and that's the only he had a certain squad during the World Cup that he trained with, and he's gained a little trust in them.
I get that,
but the Grealish starting to both. I know he got 2 assists in the
Leeds match, but he missed a hat trick of chances in the first half.
I know, but
I was talking. Actually, Steph was there for that match too, and we were talking. I was like, he's at halftime, and we were both saying Grealish needs to come off at half, and then I was thinking, I'm like, no, because you know what, he's getting in positions, and yeah, he's blowing shit, but that's just gonna kill his confidence. You put 100 million on this guy. This is not a match where you really necessarily think you're gonna lose. One, it was 1-0 at halftime, barely, barely. And two, it's okay, let's build the confidence up. We're not gonna let you go to waste. I get that. I don't even necessarily have any fault with starting him again the next match and benching Foden again, although I thought it was a weird one.
But you bring him on earlier.
honestly, like even at 1-0, because when did Everton tie? Like the 65th, something like that. Even by like the 60th, I'm making
great goal.
I saw him. I heard the glass off.
You didn't see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Because I was watching.
Golazo.
I was watching Leeds Newcastle, and then he scored, and I was like, okay. I gave like 5 more minutes, and like City still scored it. Okay, I'll put City on.
Golazo.
But I would have brought Foden on the 60th for that. I would have brought Gundogan probably on the 60th.
It's Pep, man. He does it. It works. It's nice when
you can just ride out a whole match and not use anyone.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's when you're winning.
We can't criticize him too much because he does win all these
Yes,
games.
I know, but come on.
I know. I'm with you. I don't know where it is.
No Foden. I didn't get it. And the thing is, too, is that he wasn't even. You saw him against Leeds, kicking the water bottle, and who the fuck knows what that was. Honestly, I saw that whole fucking clip, and it just seems so orchestrated to me. That against Leeds, when like they're up 3-1, first of all, at the time, and then like he throws his hands up in the air, spins off the touchline, kicks the bottle into the Leeds dugout. And then he runs. And the whole thing just felt so fucking scripted. I'm watching.
Yeah. Yes. But other than that, they had chances to win. They always do. They just weren't clinical.
Yeah, but it wasn't too much. There was the Roger chance at the very end. There's a lot of slipping. De Bruyne must have slipped like 4 times since I turned that match on.
Needs better metal studs.
What else did they really create? Maybe like one.
They had some.
There was another one where
in the second half they had 2. I think one. I forgot who shot it, but if they laid it off to Holland, I'm not saying he would have scored, but he would have had a wide open shot from like 12 yards out. So
he would have scored.
I don't know about
anyway. Okay, so like what? So City, how many matches is that now? 5 or 4? 4 that they've dropped points in.
5.
It is 5.
5 of 16.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot
for them, though. But
agreed, yeah, absolutely.
For them, but
yes, but I'm expecting them to be 14-2-1 like Arsenal. If that, maybe even better.
Do they still win the league?
It's a tough league. Yes.
Are you just saying that
because I might owe TJ $1,000?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't been worried.
You're not worried?
No. I'm not. I was pissed that I was like, this doesn't need to be close. Like when they drop points, everyone was like, this doesn't need to be.
If Arsenal won today, would you have been worried?
No, I expected them to win today. Actually,
really?
I didn't.
No. I wanted 0-0. Thank God I let it 0-0.
You got it. I expected them to win today though, and they went good. I did. I thought West Ham might have been a hiccup, and like when West Ham was winning 1-0 at halftime, because it was like at West Ham was a terrible start of the season, and obviously they're still dog shit.
But down.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Like I went out half. I'm like, I was kicking myself for not actually, because I was looking at Arsenal's return, right?
Yeah.
West Ham, Brighton, on the road, Newcastle. Like that's tough. That could be tough. But West Ham, I think really.
The second goal was bad. Martinelli's.
Oh yeah,
that was bad goalkeeping,
buddy. Oh yeah, it was awful.
Bad goalkeeping near post right there.
Yeah, no, West Ham are absolutely diabolical, and they should fire David Moyes. They should.
Yeah,
they absolutely should.
I think he's got the most out of this group.
Yeah,
and I think it's unfortunate.
Well, Beats are gonna shoot it.
Yeah, I know it was crazy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to read the message popped up in my face. I was looking at the standings there. Okay, Newcastle, and okay, City's not gonna do anything this transfer window, so they're not. They're not getting one. I'm
gonna start. Since we're on Newcastle now,
yes,
I'm gonna start this off.
Okay.
Have you heard the rumor that's been going around?
Oh, okay, wait. Okay, wait. Is it this one? Is it that if Newcastle makes top 4?
Do you believe
Ronaldo? Yeah, kind of.
Do you believe it?
I do actually.
If it is true,
I do.
Did Ronaldo just finesse us all?
Man, I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
For those who might not have heard this, the rumor is that Ronaldo has obviously gone to Al Nassr. That's official. But if Newcastle qualify top 4 and make Champions League, there's a clause in his contract that will have Al Nassr have to loan him out to Newcastle for the year, and he would essentially be a Newcastle player for that year.
I love it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm honestly, I'm so sick. Like I really don't like this move to Saudi Arabia. This changes everything.
Would the Isak signing still make sense then?
The what?
Alexander Isak.
Oh.
Would that signing still make sense then?
I thought it said Isak standing.
Oh. Would that still make sense?
Yeah, because they got him.
Because you would have Wilson, Isak, and Ronaldo.
And Chris Wood. Man, Chris Wood came out to say stuff like, Steph and I were like, man, this guy was a Sean Dyche legend. Like, it should have stopped there. It should have.
We got the payday. Let him live.
Yeah, good for him. But I don't know why Newcastle were. They were in bad shape
last year. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris Wood.
They got Isaac. They got Isaac at the end of the August window. So yes, of course it does. And it's a guy with. Isaac was always a weird one for me because he's had a very up and down career. You know, he burst on at Dortmund, and then he did nothing at Dortmund, and then Sociedad, he had a great year and a half. Yeah, year and a half, and then he fell off again, and then he still went for all this money.
Yeah, and then he had a great start for Newcastle, and then he got hurt. But he almost had.
But I'm fine with it. Of course I'm fine with that. Wilson's kind of injury prone as well.
Yep.
And you know what? Merle needs to come in there and just, temper his expectations a little bit. If that is the case,
I would hope so.
I really hope it is the case. And that is more than fuck. I don't want Newcastle to finish in the top 4 though, because then we're United's fucking toast. United's toast. Newcastle won't be as big a draw if they can just be out of Champions League.
So you'd be worried about Tottenham and Liverpool, one of those two teams finishing ahead of you guys?
It's not that. It's that if Newcastle make top 4, it's like there's a bigger draw for bigger names now to come, and they're established. Like if Newcastle make top 4, are they ever going to drop out of it? Like Man City? That's how I see it.
No, they still have to reshape the squad a bit, right? For them to stay in, like as much as I love the guy, Dan Burn, would have to be a bench player. Yeah,
Dan Burn would be fine with that.
Yes. I'm just saying.
Because he's the man.
There's other areas, too. They would have, like, Almiron. He would have to have a season like this to keep his place, too.
Sure.
Certain games Longstaff is starting. That has to change.
I know, it's quite a bit.
that has to change.
But does it, though? Because, honestly...
No, Joelinton. I would rather Joelinton there.
Well, they both started.
And Joelinton, I think...
They both
your
started.
days of forward are gone.
Yes. But he played
the wing. He played him wing.
Yes. Oh, he hasn't played up top for ages.
But he played him wing today.
Yes, that's
but normally he's in the middle.
He's in the middle. Yeah.
Normally he's in the middle. But today he played in the wing.
Yes,
I'm like, this guy's Mr. Versatile now.
I know. But Eddie Howe's getting him. I know. Steph was ragging on him. Like, listen, I know he's not like the goal scorer that Newcastle thought he was going to get, but he's a utility player.
He was a record transfer.
Yeah. But he's a total utility player, and Eddie Howe's getting
workhorse.
But he's also doing that with Longstaff too. And like Longstaff, to me, I need to keep a closer eye on Longstaff because that guy burst on the scene for like 3 games, and then United were about to pay $50 million for him for like 3 games, and and you could not put that past United, okay? Like they would do something fucking retarded like that. But and then faded off to shit. I'm like, okay, there he is. But now all of a sudden, Newcastle's still getting results.
He's playing,
and he's playing. So I got to keep a closer eye on this guy. And see what's going on there.
Are they also overachieving? That's the next question.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
If they had 30 points, would they still be overachieving? Yeah.
I think going to the season, I didn't honestly going to the season. I was like, maybe like a 8th place finish.
No, you didn't think Europa League after the way they finished. They had 21 wins in the.
I don't know. I mean,
year. That's a lot. That's more than I think was only less than 2 other teams.
I love what Eddie Howe's done. I thought 8th place would be like a nice, reasonable finish for them, especially considering they made good savvy signings, but nothing like too glamorous. Even like the best signing was Bruno Guimaraes, and that was last January.
Yeah.
Sven Botman.
Yeah, that's well, they had Burn too.
It helped. Goes without saying.
It helped trigger them to a strong finish. Did they finish in the top half? I don't know about that. I think they were right maybe there 10th. Though. I think they were 10th, 11th. Well, after being in.
I will tell you right now. 11th.
Oh, just outside. But are they going to fall off? And by
define
fall off,
define fall off, please.
In the next 10 games, they will not get 15 points. I would consider that falling off.
I would absolutely agree based on what they've done thus far.
Yeah.
Especially because they've been winning a lot more too lately. The beginning of the season was just like draw. Like they basically they were like 1-5-1 or something.
Yeah, they were, and now they're getting the wins though.
Now it's a huge drop. That is a drop off. Do they drop off to that extent? 15 points in 10 matches.
5 wins out of 10.
Yeah, that's with draws though. Let me see what they have.
Because honestly,
Palace. Ooh, they got a nice run of fixtures.
I know they played the hard teams. They played the hard teams already.
Ooh, that is favorable. Oh, okay.
I honestly think they could come top 4.
Oh, I'm not shooting that down either. I'm not shooting that down.
They're going to be the 4th team. I think they will be the 4th team if they do make it. But I think I am almost.
I think you're right.
Ready.
You know what?
To mail in a for sure top 6.
Yeah,
I'm almost ready to say 5.
I'm
almost ready to say 5.
I will say 5.
It depends if what this.
I think Spurs and United are gonna snag 3 and 4.
Spurs? I think only Spurs can do it if they get a manager change.
You think so?
I think Conte's lost the team, man.
Maybe.
I think he's lost.
Spurs
it.
might be pretty outlandish.
We'll get to them soon, but that's a spoiler alert. I think he has. I think his head is not 100%
it's not there. It's gone. He's checked out.
He's looking for somewhere else.
Maybe.
The quotes I've been hearing him saying, it's just like he's 1 foot out the door.
Yeah, we need to create a midfield. They do. It's like all their midfielders are box to box, like quasi destroyers. Who's providing for those wingers? Who? Okay, we'll get that. Let's go to United. Yeah. Newcastle.
I think I'm almost ready to say top 5, but for sure top 6.
They're finishing top 6. What? Who's knocking Newcastle out of? You think Chelsea's going to make a run that deep?
No, it would be Liverpool if anything, because the fire.
They'll still finish 6th though.
No, I know, but
that's what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. Who's going to knock Newcastle out of top 6? No one. Unless Fulham, Brighton, or Brentford. I give honestly, no, I don't. They're top 6. Newcastle's finishing top 6, unless Chelsea.
Unless if there's major injury, hopefully barring none. But yeah,
that's interesting.
It's theirs to lose now. It's theirs to lose, but they are going to come to a difficult.
It is
run of fixtures. Not run of fixtures. Every team goes through ebbs and flows.
I don't think they're going to have the.
I don't think we've seen an ebbs of them yet. Right, I guess the beginning of the season when they were trying, but they're getting results, and they have the best defense in the Premier League.
They do, but I think that can get figured out. And
they're hard to break down.
They are, and I completely rate Sven Botman. Shar has always held his spot down. I love Dan Burn, but
they need depth. That's what the squad, the goal of this transfer window should be for them.
What are you getting? One more defender? Yeah, a faster defender. Slow. They're slow defenders.
What kind of defender? You would have to get a defender that. How would I word it? I think they would have to get an experienced defender that knows he can't start every game, but is willing to be a good locker room leadership.
Jerome Boateng.
You know what? For the experience, yeah. We'd have to see how his English is.
He would suit that system. Someone along.
You agree with me, or
no, because you know what?
This back 4 is great. They're playing great, but you need depth. You need depth.
One injury, and
they're done.
They're
not done, but it's not. They're not as good as they've been playing.
No, because you know what?
Being adjustment.
And you know what? Things here at the beginning of the season, you didn't know if it was going to be Shar, Botman. I think Shar might have been hurt for a bit. Shar, Botman, or Burn that were starting, and that was in the back too, because. All 3 of them were never playing together when they were getting draws. Ever since they've been in this run, those 3 have been playing together. But Dan Burn is the one that can actually play out left. He's
naturally left-footed.
And he's good on the ball.
You see him on the line today?
Buddy, you don't tell me about Dan Burn and his ball playing abilities, okay? But that's the thing. So if you lose him, I think maybe that's more the focus is getting almost like someone like Luke Shaw. Not something they're going to get Luke Shaw, but someone who can play left back and center back.
Preview for Man United, get rid of Shaw?
No, absolutely not. I back Luke Shaw. I mean, he had a great game today, so it's easy for me to say that. But
a lot of people above me have him and it pissed me off.
Oh, really?
He scored, yeah.
No, I'm surprised with that.
I was really hoping Bournemouth scored.
I think he got an assist too, didn't he?
On Rashford's? No.
No, he didn't. On Casemiro's though.
No, it was Ericsson. I whipped it in.
Okay. Anyway. Someone that can play left back and center back. That's what I think they need.
Yeah, probably another midfielder as well. But
yeah,
I think their focus should be a defender. So. That like a leadership role, not like kind of like a Thiago Silva, but obviously to Newcastle. So maybe even I don't know, but
Sandro.
Yeah, he just played it. Yeah, he's wearing the same jersey.
He's leaving. I don't think you guys are going to resign him.
No, we're not.
Get him at honestly, throw $5 million at Juve for Alexander. I don't think you have to pay that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I wouldn't say you have to pay that. And then you have experience. You have someone that can play both positions. Someone like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm not saying that's the definite. Maybe we'll come back next week with a more definitive transfer list for these teams. Yeah. Okay. United. 36 minutes in. Fuck me. Let's get moving here.
It's your team. You started off.
Well, we are...
You're loving this season, I assume.
Am I loving this season? This season can get derailed at any time, Mike. At any time.
But are you surprised that hasn't derailed yet?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. It could happen at any second. We're so thin, Mike. That team is so light. Casemiro doesn't get injured, but if he does, we're back to Fred McTominay.
McFred?
We're back to McFred. We up top, you lose Cavani, you lose Ronaldo, and you bring in nobody. You Gakpo.
No, yeah, it just started, man. The transfer just started.
We just lost Gakpo. Gakpo should have been ours. We're finagling, and of course Liverpool, just like Fabinho,
they wanted a more central striker, from what I've heard.
That is bullshit.
You're also going.
That is such bullshit, Mike.
You're also going through an ownership change, most likely.
Hopefully.
But this is the biggest I've heard of the rumblings.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And with an ownership change, knowing why would they want to spend money when they're going to sell the team? You got to remember that.
But maybe they don't. Maybe they don't.
So if they don't, then yes, you should spend the cash.
But not necessarily. Look at Liverpool. They're doing the same thing. They're spending money because they're trying to make the team more lucrative and more attractive to buyers.
Yes, and they also are just come from a winning state of mind, right? You guys haven't come from a winning state of mind.
Because of this ownership.
Yes.
And because they don't spend wisely. They either spend money terribly in bad spots or then spend it all. And we get so
if you want wiser spending, you're gonna have to wait till the summer when the new ownership kicks in. Because I think the ownership change, I'm hearing it's preferred it happens in Q1, so before March, right? So if it's gonna happen February, March, I don't want to
get hung up on that too much. But I think the comparison between Liverpool wanting to sell and actually investing money in the club to, attract buyers versus United. And it came down to one player as well, a player that Ten Hag wanted in the offseason in August. And then he thought almost guaranteed we were going to get in January. And then Liverpool come in like that out of nowhere, just like Fabinho. We're extremely thin. And, you lose Varane or Martinez. I was surprised that he started, maybe he was just playing safe. Starting Maguire and Lindelof today because maybe you don't want to play Varane too much because he has had injury problems, and if you lose Martinez as well, then you're back to one of them. And you saw what happened when Varane was injured. Okay,
yeah.
Martinez in the first 2 months played with three different center backs. The Luke Shaw experiment was great.
That center back that was against.
It was 2 or 3 matches. It was 2.
Right?
It was Nottingham and Wolves for sure. I don't think he did the EFL match against. The fuck did we? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Burnley. Yeah, I don't know, man. We are extremely thin, and I don't even necessarily think we're going to buy anyone except for some Igalo-esque striker.
Oh, so a panic buy? Not panic buy.
Yeah, it's a panic buy.
Yeah,
it is a panic buy.
It's top 4.
buddy, I don't know. This could go either
You're
way.
hoping. You're hoping.
I am hoping, and that's why I was like, like United and Spurs, like maybe Newcastle, just because of experience. But you know what? Ten Hag's never been in this situation before. This team mentally has been weak for years. I think you're definitely seeing a much stronger mentality under Ten Hag, which I love. But who knows what happens down the stretch, buddy? Sancho's gone. He's somewhere. He's
doing independent training.
Yeah, still.
So
I don't think he's back
the
yet.
exact quote Ten said?
Physically, I don't think he's there, and honestly, I think it's more mentally than anything. But even if Sancho's back, Mike, look at Martial, Rashford, Antony. Everyone's getting on Antony. Just calm down, please.
Garnacho.
Everyone relax. Garnacho, I love it. You can't expect too much from the kid.
Van der Beek got hurt today.
Yes, of course. Gets a start finally and gets injured before halftime. But literally, in the wing and forward roles, it's Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, Martial, Antony, and Alonga. Alonga's championship, man. We're so light. That team's so fucking light, man.
So would you rather spend the money up top or in the middle?
I would, man.
Where are you going to spend it if you are going to spend it?
Up top.
Joking.
But you should be able to make two. You should be making two signings with that team. You should be making two signings. I really don't know.
I agree with you, but with the ownership change,
the ownership wouldn't have done this anyway. That's the thing. They would have started screwing Ten Hag already. I'm fucking sure of it. Do you need another beer?
I finished mine, but I don't know.
So yes, you do.
I do back them more than Spurs.
Yeah, so do I.
It's just that if Liverpool go on a run,
I was saying a lot of wild.
That's what I'm worried about.
10 minutes ago, I was saying a lot of wild Spurs stuff. Okay, and that team just really is literally no. Yeah, we'll get there in a second. Yeah, Liverpool could go on a run, but Liverpool's burnt out. We'll get to them too. Like it's weird. I mean, 4, 5, and 6 really inspire me with little to no confidence. Although I would say United might be the most stable right now.
Right now, but I'm thinking over the course of the season.
I know. And I'm trying to piece that together in my mind too, because if Varane goes down, we're screwed. Casemiro, he doesn't get injured. He doesn't get injured, but he's getting on. So those injuries could start.
He's getting into form.
Oh, okay. Getting into form. He's been amazing.
Yes,
That guy has transformed our team. But I'm saying he's getting on in terms of his age. And though he hasn't had injury problems in the past, that can happen. That can happen anytime. It could happen anytime. He could be one of those guys who's really never affects him his whole career, but that could happen anytime. And in which case, we are done. We're done. If Werner or Casemiro get hurt, Casemiro especially, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. But you know what? I will say I'm very happy with Marcus Rashford, and I think he's really turned around on Ten Hag. And finally, I was really done with Rashford last season. I wanted him sold in the summer. I thought his mentality was just absolutely abysmal. It was embarrassing, frankly, what he was doing. You see him just walking around the pitch. But you know what? He was just one of all his favorites, and he completely took advantage of that. And I love that Ten Hag on the weekend, despite the form Rashford's in, benched his ass for sleeping in. I love it.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
And he came out and scored too, so
yeah, absolutely. He knows what it is, and that's a good message to the rest of the team. I'm really happy with Ten Hag. Just please back him. Please. I need him to be backed. Are we going to make top 4? It's easy to say yes right now just because we're in a rich vein of form. But
I feel like I'm going no.
Honestly, if Casemiro stays healthy, yes. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, for me, if Casemiro stays healthy. We finally have a CDM again, and it's apparent. So yes, that's what I'll say. If he's injured for more than 4 matches the rest of the way, no.
On to Spurs?
On Spurs.
What do they do?
Well,
I think that, all right, go. Sorry, yeah.
You asked me. Yeah. You asked me. It's just shocking to me that they didn't. I know Conte had such success at Inter with 3-5-2, but you still have ball players like Barella. Even Eriksen. In there at times. He wasn't completely relied on, but he was there. But they really have no one in the midfield that is that picks passes.
No, they just have workhorses to cover what the front people do. That's their job.
And it's
Well, credit to Bentancur and Hoiberg scoring more this year than they have. But
they absolutely
they are just conceding left, right, and center. And even when they were winning, they were still conceding. They had to win 3-2. They had to win 2-1. They have to always come back and win. They can never just even the Leeds game was a perfect example. Like every time Leeds scored, then they would show what they really had, and then they would tie it, and then go back to what they were playing like before. There's no consistency. Defense is horrible. Son is, I don't know, he's disappeared on the face of the earth.
1 goal. They conceded at least 2 goals.
He had a hat-trick substitution, right?
He did.
That was it, right?
He did. Maybe it starts. Why did I just see 1 goal in 15 minutes?
Maybe 1 goal in the starts.
Starts,
But I don't know. Kane's obviously producing what he's doing. Kulusevski when he was healthy, but when he got injured is when they started to slide a bit. Mm-hmm. Richarlison got off to a slower start, but he doesn't really know his role because Kane's really playing his.
But he was putting in a lot of work. People want to rip on Richarlison. I was seeing positive cameo appearances from him,
mostly Europa League.
Champions League. He was scoring in Champions League. He's getting done visibly in Champions League. But even at the beginning of the season, I think we were talking about it. I remember Son just kind of fading away, and Richarlison coming off 20-minute cameos and
doing more than
performing. Yeah, obviously not getting on the score sheet, but doing well enough. And I think there's a player there for me. But for me, it's you literally have no one to create in the midfield. It's I don't know. It's counter and being forced out wide and whipping balls into the box.
They need a signing. That's apparent. But is it a player or a manager? I think if it's a manager, who? I think
Conte. If Conte is going to make a signing, it has to be a creative midfielder. But that means he needs to just switch up his formation. Or he needs at least a box-to-box, like a Barella, who can play in that system, but is just better on the ball. I mean, yes, Bentancur has been, shown instances. Højbjerg has improved his overall game in terms of creativity, but he's not a creative player.
Yeah, and is he the player?
He's not the answer by any stretch. This is apparent. And they need another center back.
They need a center back, but I don't know. I think they have passed their peak. If that's,
I had high hopes on coming this season.
Is that weird to say that they have passed their peak in a way? That with the current players, I think they need a signing. I think they need some sort of injection of energy, of hope.
No, that's not weird to say at all. That's more than fair. That's exactly what they need. But I mean, it's just more than one. It's a lot more than one. That team is on its knees right now.
It's the mentality, is it?
Yeah. So I mean, it's probably too much to do with keeping Conte.
I don't know. If I was a Spurs fan, I don't even know what I would be thinking right now. I'd be frustrated. I'd be.
I don't know, buddy. I think.
Do they need their man back, Pochettino?
Is that the guy?
Is that the answer?
That to me seems like a stopgap, though. That's a stopgap.
Are they ever going to be a team that can get the big signing? Because now is their best chance.
With Conte.
I think the days of getting that big signing are running out.
With Conte, though, it would have to be with Conte.
It would have to be, yes.
Pochettino, if you see it exactly, if you see that as a non-Spurs player that's being courted by Spurs, and you see them bring back Pochettino, you guys are out to lunch right now. You guys don't know what you're doing. And no manager comes to mind immediately that would be suggesting they could bring in Ruven Nistelrooy. Too early. I think it's too early. He's doing a good job at PSV, but I think it's too early.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a manager on the way here as well. I just don't know.
I think someone like Van Nistelrooy is interesting. Van Nistelrooy needs to see the season out of PSV at least. I would say he's got to stay there for you.
You have to be attacking minded.
Absolutely. If you want to draw anyone in, like you have to. And that's really what's going to get the job done in terms of actually winning trophies now. All right? Like, obviously, you need balance. Like, Pep and Arteta, like, they know how to defend and they can build a good defense, but they're not playing Mourinho ball, okay? Like, the days of straight Mourinho ball, like, they're done. And they're absolutely done. I think Tuchel is probably your last winner in terms of that. They're in a lot of trouble, and I don't know what the fuck I was saying earlier on the show about Spurs, finagling this, because they do have experience over the likes of Newcastle, but I mean Liverpool has Spurs were really up there
I know,
up to like 3 weeks ago,
and now they're not.
Okay, football's a funny game. Football is a funny.
I'd be more worried about Liverpool than Tottenham right now.
Football's a funny game.
I
don't know, Mike.
I think Spurs are looking.
Liverpool might be burnt out. Liverpool might be burnt the fuck out.
So even was it 2-3 years ago or 2 years ago, right? It was 2 years ago when they came fourth.
When who came fourth?
Liverpool.
Are we moving on to them now?
I was going to end Tottenham.
Okay, go ahead.
They are not going to make Champions League.
Yeah,
and I think fifth is the best that they're going to get. I don't even know if they're going to get fifth. I think they might bottle it to sixth.
I think maybe a Fulham, Brighton, or Brentford might leapfrog.
No, Liverpool.
No, but then if Fulham, Brighton, or Brentford leapfrog, they go down to seventh. That's what I'm saying.
Oh no! I think six is
as far as bad as it gets.
I don't.
Seventh still gets you Europe, so
I think six is where they end up, but I think fifth is the highest where they end up. I don't think they make top four.
Okay.
What do you think? Do they make top four?
It's funny. It's funny. It's the question. What the question comes down to is: has Conte lost it? Has he lost the dressing room? He does get fed up. He gets fed up quick. Like it turned sour and that's it. Now he's done, right? So, because if he is of the mind that there's we can get top four and kind of reassess at the end of the season, he might be able to get something on his team. But Suns, as you said, it's completely fallen off the face of the earth. I mean, you look at your center backs and you see have to start Eric Dyer every week.
At the moment, it's long way because Romero was gone.
Heartbreaking. It's gotta be so disheartening for Conte, and then in turn the players. Yeah, no, they don't make top four. No,
yeah, I agree. I think Liverpool has a better chance of coming top four. But I do agree that they are burnt out and they are in kind of an experiment phase with the new crop of players that they have had injuries, Luis Diaz and Jota, but I don't think they would have made as much of a difference. I think Liverpool, the way they're playing, would have been around the same area, maybe 2, 3 more points. That's about it.
Liverpool, honestly, they're shut. And are they burnt out? Are they done?
Yeah, but they played every game last year. Yeah, are they done under Klopp? I'm not ready to go there, but I think they gotta be realistic and say that we'll fight for top four, but that's all we can fight for. Like I don't think, and Champions League.
Well, of course. Oh, what? They're not winning the league. Why not?
I know they're not winning. I'm saying,
yeah,
like that should be the main focus.
Well, that's all they can focus on. But so then it doesn't really change anything for them, or what? Like just ditch the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Are they out of the EFL Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost to the City.
Right.
That was an exciting game.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I think they should just play youth in the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Have that. If they go far, great. You still play the youth. This was their chance to impress, and you get the guys that you think are going to be your final 11.
So that shaves off 2 matches for the rest of the season.
Sure.
They seem a little burnt out, Mike.
I think they just need, I guess Gakpo, new signing.
It's an injection. It's an injection of life. Diaz and Jota coming back eventually is going to be big. But again, it's not necessarily just about up top. I mean,
the middle is what they need.
Exactly. And
Fabinho's falling off. I don't know if it's
Well, this is a man that's been playing CDM there match out since he got there. Well, not the first season.
Yeah.
But since they really took the next step, that was largely on the back legs of him and Van Dijk.
Yes.
Obviously, with their amazing attack, sure. But the depth has always been a little light there. And you're asking guys to run in that system in the midfield with a relatively light crew behind them.
Yeah, and a crew with a lot of legs under them, Henderson, Milner, Thiago.
They're bringing Thiago, already injury prone. Thiago's probably missed at least half the matches he was supposed to play.
Yeah, Harvey Elliott, I think, has played more than him.
Sorry?
Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, well, there you go. And there you go, right? So it's like there's no rest for them. There's no respite, and I think they need to bring a midfielder in again.
They do.
Right now.
Are they?
Not that I'm hearing, but they should.
January's long. I think the next few matches don't go to plan.
Yeah,
panic buy.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't have to be a panic buy.
A panic buy for the future, but I think it will be done in a panic buy style fashion. Just quick reaction off bad results. Plan B, pretty much. Plan B.
Yeah, sure.
Not plan A. Obviously, I don't think they'll. I guess they will.
Is Darwin Nunez with Werner 2.0? What do you think of Darwin Nunez? It's a very divisive character right now.
It's just hard because he went pretty much the same price as Haaland, right? And you see what Haaland's doing. No? It might have been more.
Well, I mean, all in, I'm sure there's packages, but I'm sure in terms of the price for the club, I think they pay more.
Being compared to Haaland, I think even Haaland's start is just so unreal, right? That it's not fair to Nunez to compare, but he is playing well. He's still got to get used to the system. They still have to find his characteristics that they can play off of and kind of adapt their play style to fit him, integrate him into what they want Liverpool to be. But he is showing promise. He works hard. He's still adjusting to the game. He's getting the chance. He's not finishing them, but he has more goals
than Suarez does this. I know at this point. I know. I honestly, I rate him. I'd say you got to give him at least a year.
Yes.
Because there's something always going on around him. Always. He might be fucking up a lot. He might be missing a lot of sitters.
But he's always involved.
He's always hanging around. I think there's really a player that is waiting to explode. I really do. And a lot of people are writing him off. I disagree. I think, and he's got bags of energy. There's no need, even with Gakpo coming in, even with Diaz and Jota eventually coming back. I think a lot of it. I think still a lot of those matches you're starting him. You start him.
The price tag, obviously that helps.
Yeah, but he just needs to get a couple. He should have 6 goals in the last 3 matches.
Yes,
don't get me wrong. But of course, Klopp would say this, but I genuinely do think that they will come. I do.
You're holding on to him in fantasy,
buddy. This fantasy thing is done for me. I am.
Don't give up. Aim for middle of the table and see what happens.
This is humiliating. I don't even check. Well, I do check my team, but I'm checking standings. Dick around and pick up 2 West Ham defenders coming back from the World Cup just to see what's up. See if they can pull something out. Nope. Okay, let's close out Chelsea and then we'll preview Chelsea City. Is Graham Potter at his depth?
It's hard because this isn't a great Chelsea team.
Is it this bad?
He didn't take it over. It was this bad though.
There's been some.
It's
been a lot of him recently. It's been a lot of him.
It takes time.
They weren't in 10th when Tuchel got fired.
No, they weren't. They were not.
So I was asking you to scroll down the table to get to Chelsea.
It's hard to tell. It's it is still a small sample size, right? And he took over in season, right? And that's always difficult.
Sure.
I know Tuchel took over in season a few seasons ago and just made a defensive unit, right? But not everyone can do that. Even what he did was impressive.
Sure.
Get them Champions League and top 4 in a position where it didn't look possible. I feel he doesn't have
So I think it's the aura to command a dressing room like this. What's the difference, say, between
I won't say that necessarily.
Like a Ten Hag and a Potter, both very expansive managers. They play fun attacking football.
He came from a small club.
Yes, he did. In a big league, whereas it's vice versa for Ten Hag.
It wasn't easy for Eddie Howe at the beginning.
No,
what he's done now.
No,
right. So I think you do need time.
Give him that summer.
I think it's too early to judge. I will give him credit. I will give him a pass.
Much like
now.
So.
But the next 2 months will be big.
Like how I'm viewing Darwin Nunez.
Yes,
but I give Nunez a year.
Oh, I'm giving part of the rest of the year.
No, I'm saying like a year.
Oh, for a year from now, he'll be.
Yes. Yeah.
I still got to give Graham Potter another 10 matches.
10? I again, like, I think people are just too ready to jump. Like,
I don't think they should have got rid of Tuchel. That's to begin with. But now that they have Potter, you got to stick with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if Potter gets fired, the FA will probably swoop in and fire Southgate. Like, this is the one guy that we think we can handle. Yeah. And I'd be okay with it, actually. I'd be very intrigued to see what Potter can do with the English squad. But
what do Chelsea need? They need players.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
And I think they need to get rid of players, too.
But they brought Badi Chile. They brought in that young kid, was it Fofana?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they brought in 3. Am I wrong?
What, Chukwueze or?
No. Like this window.
Oh, this winter.
Like this window. Fofana from Molde. Oh no, that's it. Okay.
I think that's it.
And Badi Chile. Badi Chile is like pretty much on his way. And they're looking at Mudryk. It's interesting. They have a lot of center backs. They've got a lot of center backs. I think Koulibaly is actually going to be pushed to the bench, like permanently. I think he might be done. I think Koulibaly will be done here.
Out of Chelsea?
I think so.
He doesn't like him?
I think they're done.
Already so quickly?
He's been exposed quite a bit, Mike.
No, you won't be. They just got him.
So what? Sometimes it wasn't his signing. That wasn't his signing.
I know it wasn't his signing.
31-year-old adjusting to the Premier League. It might have been too late for him. That move might have came too late for Koulibaly. I mean, it's brought in Badi Chile. Silva on the way up. Maybe bring another one in the summer. They need a midfielder. That's damn sure. Everyone in that midfield is just like constantly hurt.
It's a revolving door, yeah.
Constantly, yeah, and what you can get no,
and you don't really know what his 11 is yet, right? Do you know what his 11 is?
Not a fucking clue.
That's what I think they need to.
Not a clue. Havertz is in form for now. I would not be surprised that if in 3 matches Havertz has been like firmly back to the bench, and then we'll see him crop back up like at the end of March, or at the end of February, or whatever. Like it's just.
Are they destined for 7th?
Zakaria is getting time now.
Are they destined for 7th place this season? Are they going to look back on the season and say we fired Tuchel too soon?
They're only 3 points back. I know they're in 10th.
I know, but they've also been injury bitten, right? Like James hasn't been healthy. Chilwell hasn't been healthy.
That's true. Like, is Chilwell going to play? I mean, I would.
Kovacic has been up and down.
Are we opposed to a 3-5-2 with his team, with Chilwell and James? LWB and RCB or RWB, and maybe Cucurella can still play left-sided center back.
They've been trying that, haven't they?
I haven't seen much.
Before
I didn't really see too much.
Tinkering with it, and Chilwell playing above Cucurella.
I would maybe try to do something more along the lines of that.
I don't know. I think they're just destined for 7th. I don't think there's a
3-4-2-1.
They've been experimenting everything though.
I know.
They have, and they haven't found anything. So
there's just a lot of attacking talent where I think the 3-5-2, just kind of you have too much on the bench that's not being used. So I think maybe more like a 3-4-2-1 might be more the play there, where you can get Chilwell and James on the field, and then you have like a Mount and a Sterling and Havertz as a 2-1.
As a triangle.
As a triangle, yeah, perhaps.
Because then you become very predictable, right? And you pretty much teams would counter by letting them try and break you down through the middle. knowing that they don't really have any like post up players that can hold the ball and have two attacking mids run off of them. Right? I would because if I would just shut off the wings so Chilwell and Reece James can't do anything, right? And then make the middle guys do something.
Didn't work, yeah.
That's how I would counter that. If they were to do a 3-4-1-2 or 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's just a season for health for them. I think this is a like Manchester United season last year.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair.
I don't see them coming top 6.
Chelsea City. Let's wrap it up.
I do want to say City comfortably, even though it's Chelsea at home, but I have a feeling it's going to be in KG 1-0, like second half late goal by City. Like, I don't think it's going to
Next, Chelsea's not going to roll over in this.
No, they won't. I just don't see there being goals in this one.
That's fair. I think Potter's definitely not going to be starting his revolution in this match. There's no doubt about that. They're not going to be playing Potter ball.
No, it will be very defensive minded Mourinho like ball.
Yeah.
They don't have anyone to counter with. Right? I don't really think they have a good counterattacking team to really hurt City. Right? So I think City are going to be comfortably on the ball, and it's just going to be a frustrating game, but they'll eventually break them down.
I don't hate it.
I think the best thing for City is getting an early goal. And then it could be a blowout, I think. I actually do think it could be a blowout, but I don't. I see a 0-0 first half and City getting frustrated. And maybe Pep hopefully starts Foden, right? But I sold him, actually, so I really hope he doesn't. And he comes on in late appearances, screw everyone still has him. You have Kane captain?
Captain Rashford, I don't care.
Oh.
I'm going to 2-0.
I'm doing 1-0.
Okay. All right, guys. Long one. We had a lot to talk about. It's been a while.
Bale's back. New Year's back. Happy New Year's, everybody.
And we'll be back next week. And just maybe we'll plan out some transfer talk. See ya. Yeah. See ya.
That might be the last see I do.